That was intentional. Hey everybody out there, welcome to the Nerd Cult, a not-so-secret society dedicated to all things nerd. You did good. As some of you may have noticed in the info about this episode, you can actually go and check out the video for it on our YouTube page. Just see the link in the description. If not, and you just want to hear the nice, soothing sounds of our voice, then just stay here. Sultry sounds of our voice.
Sultry.
Just stay here. I am, surely you've guessed this by now, I am 1/3 of this trio, Tyler Lee.
I am Brock Parsons. This is my house, and that's my microphone. That's my camera. Hey, camera.
Slash phone.
That's also why I'm sitting in the middle. This is my chair. So, it's fun.
My name's Josh Forster.
Such a good fan of white.
I'm used to smoking doinks down here in Amish. We are doing a podcast.
Legalized Shrek.
Legalized doinks.
I want to clarify, some of you may wonder, why don't they do a video podcast all the time? I live in Minnesota. I'm visiting here in Oklahoma. Why not?
Why not?
But, anyways, why don't we just jump right into it? Josh, I heard you saw a movie that I saw recently.
Yeah, it's called Justice League. Maybe you heard of it.
Would you say the greatest movie of all time?
No.
No.
Not even gonna lie about
Not
it.
even close.
So I've never heard of this. What's this movie about?
It's about, it's got Tom Cruise in it. And it's a,
cameo.
No, different movie. Josh, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. Why don't you take the description?
Christoph Waltz.
It has Christoph Waltz playing Tom Cruise.
It's the new Disney movie.
And Tom Cruise plays Christoph Waltz. It's really confusing.
Well,
already
it's,
confused.
But you're already intrigued as well.
I'm super into this, yeah. Is it the one about...
But yeah, there's a bird-like creature. His name is Batman. We got...
Bats being bird-like creatures, as you know.
Yes. They fly, you know. They're mammals.
Much like he doesn't.
I didn't know Batman was a mammal, actually.
Wait, we're keeping this spoiler-free, right?
Yeah.
Keep it as much spoiler-free as you want.
I haven't
You should
even
be
seen
safe
this
to listen
film.
to.
Yeah.
If you're just really, really dead set on not knowing anything about it,
Just
probably skip ahead a few minutes, but for the most part, it'll be pretty spoiler-free.
Yeah. But we get our big DC characters. We got the Flash, we got the Wonder Woman, we got the Incredible Hulk.
Her less well-known name. The Wonder Woman.
The Wonder Woman. Is Clawman there?
The Wonderful Woman.
Clawman?
The Clawman.
The Clawman?
You said the Incredible Hulk?
Aquaman.
You're just making this up. There can't be all these superheroes in one
it's
film.
In one film.
Wow.
This is
Never,
2017.
Absolutely unheard of in our time.
When is Marvel going to do the Avengers?
I don't know. But here's my problem. Okay.
Now we're getting serious.
Okay.
So we have the greatest characters that DC has to offer, except for maybe Green Lantern.
Yeah.
One
Can
movie.
we? Yeah. He's not in there. Just saying.
And it was just so underwhelming. I know.
Okay, so why was it underwhelming? Because I liked it. I didn't think it was the best movie ever. But I liked it. So why was it underwhelming to you?
That's what I keep trying to figure out. Like, because I watched Thor Ragnarok right afterwards, which was a great film.
That was great preparation for this podcast. You watched a better movie
back to back
after the one you were supposed to talk about.
But I keep trying to figure it out, and I think it's my biggest issue is that in the Marvel movies, everyone has chemistry, and in these DC movies, nobody has chemistry, and I can't figure out why. And I thought at first maybe it's because all these other characters had development and stuff in the background. But if you think about it, the Avengers, you had the Black Widow, you had Arrow Guy, you had Hawkeye.
Arrow Guy is important.
And then who's the other one that had like no development at all? So the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver didn't have any development.
Well, okay, but Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver didn't really have any development. Black Widow and Hawkeye had been in a couple of the movies, at least a little bit, to where you learned a little bit about them.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
but yeah.
But
go ahead.
Well, I mean, like the Flash needs a movie, and I don't know about Aquaman. Maybe he does, but the Flash needs one. I think
Jason Momoa needs a movie.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. He was
he couldn't win Sexiest Man Alive, but a certain,
if you watch
so you mean
a certain beautiful man from our hometown, my hometown here in Ada, Oklahoma.
I think what you mean to say is
Did
all the
win.
other actual Sexy Men Alive couldn't win Sexiest Men Alive. Nothing against Blake Shelton, but and I say this as a completely heterosexual male, did they forget Idris Elba exists?
That's something to talk about too. It really irked me that friggin' Wonder Woman gets sexualized pretty bad in this. I mean, it's not pretty bad. Like, oh, she's like in a.
You can tell the difference. Also, the armor the Amazons were wearing, how it turned into like leather bikinis from Wonder Woman's actual armor. Like I'm not saying it ruins the movie, but
come on,
you can definitely tell that Wonder Woman was developed by a very knowledgeable, very good female director. I'm sorry,
and feminist,
and that not that they did it on purpose or anything, but they were sexualized. Yes, quite a bit more. And what hurts the most is you broke canon to sexualize them. We already know that's not how the Amazons dress.
Exactly. It's like, why would you do that? Like, I don't know. But we had two directors, and I think that's the problem. You had Joss Whedon, who was the other guy.
Two
arguably
great directors.
Yeah, Joss is great, but whenever you have not two kitchens, but you have cooks in the kitchen.
When you have too
many cooks.
When you have two kitchens in the cook. When you have two kitchens in the cook, you have to get them to the hospital because that's a lot of kitchen in one person. We can probably agree is, along with this one, DC's biggest enemy is Warner Brothers, is the producers, I feel like. Because they cut everything out and they're like, we need reshoots and stuff like that. And I know Zack Snyder had some issues, which I don't blame him for leaving. I know he had issues, he had to leave. But the producers are really hammering the DC cinematic universe. They're really hurting it, I feel like.
Well, I mean, and I think that's the other thing that hurt Justice League is that it's based on the horrible, it should have been great, Batman vs. Superman. So it leads, like, the everything that we know in Justice League has its roots in Batman vs. Superman. So you're like, I have to revisit that crappy movie again. Right. And then you're like disappointed right off the bat. You're like, man,
well, we talked about
that one alone.
And we talked about this is what's really sad is Batman vs. Superman actually turned out to be a decent film when they released all of it. And Justice League is the shortest superhero movie. It's just under 2 hours, I think.
Yeah,
or it's just at 2 hours, right. And I'm pretty sure there was a lot of stuff cut, which means we'll get an Ultimate Edition of that.
But that's the problem whenever you have two major characters who need Cyborg. That's the other one. Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman all get origin stories essentially in the movie, and it's like there's nowhere near enough time for those massive characters. I will say this: I agree with you on everything you saw. I feel like character-wise, story-wise, it's convoluted, and it's just like simplified and at the same time convoluted. Villain.
But
really getting sold on this.
And the villain was Steppenwolf. It could have been so great. It should have been. As far as not them, but the heroes, I think the characters, and this probably has a lot to do with the actors being able to carry the crap that they were given, I felt did really well. Because I felt I got connected with Aquaman. I am Barry Allen. He's just an awkward mess, and I just was relating to him all day on screen. Ezra Miller is amazing. And Cyborg, that guy who played Cyborg, he really pulled it off. So I liked the characterization. I think that's what made it to where I enjoyed the film a little bit more. I'd give it a solid B. But I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. They're trying to move too fast. They're trying to, it's Justice League. Let's give 3 massive character introductions and a Justice League plot in this short movie. Right. And it ends up hurting it in the end. I think it's a little bit better than a lot of the critics are making it out to be, but it's still you can just see it's hurting the DC cinematic universe.
I don't know. The Marvel universe just has a je ne sais quoi about it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think that leads back to the point is,
yes.
I mean, how long did they wait before they did an Avengers movie? Several years.
Right, like I'm thinking, okay, they had
at
a
least
Thor,
5 years,
they had
right?
an Iron Man, they had a Hulk, they had a Captain America before they even did an Avengers.
And then they did Avengers. With this one, we've had Man of Steel,
Batman vs.
Superman, and Wonder Woman. So we've introduced the Trinity,
Sure.
and that's it. And then you had 3 other characters you had to give origin stories, which felt super rushed.
That was my next question. Does it feel rushed?
It does.
It seems rushed to me.
It does feel rushed. Again, I feel like the characters really nailed it with what they were given.
Mm-hmm.
The actors did really well, but yes, because you go in and it's like, hey, here's Aquaman, and Aquaman's like, I got some problem with Atlanteans. And what problems are those? We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it later. Flash is like typical Flash story. Again, I don't think this is spoilers for anyone, but it's like he's
really fast.
What's actually, yeah, it's like he's got his Flash powers. And it does the thing where
we get like one line where he got his powers from.
You get one line where he gets his powers, and then you get like a couple of lines where he's talking with his dad about why he's trying to do what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a forensic investigation. It's the same storyline from the comics. His dad's accused of a crime that he
thinks he didn't commit.
He thinks he didn't commit. And if you've read the comics or anything, you know the deal. We get like a little bit of that. They gave the Flash a little bit more, I feel like. Yeah. They gave him a little bit more depth, so he felt a little bit more fleshed out. Aquaman got nothing, and you know what? Jason Momoa is just a champ for carrying that, because he's just enjoyable to watch that whole time. Cyborg got a little bit more. That's the thing. The Flash and Cyborg got a little bit more.
But Cyborg's problem was that I didn't care about what happened because it was just so fast. Like, you can't build a connection unless you're freaking Pixar with Up or something. A connection to characters that quickly, especially if you don't like invest some time in like FaceTime with the character. We just get this rushed. Oh, he almost died. Blah 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 blah.
Again, like if that actor for Cyborg hadn't been so great, like I wouldn't have cared at all. It was just like his performance was carrying me through, and that's it. So
a Cyborg movie would be so awesome.
Well, I mean, each one of them is getting their own movie, and then we're supposed to get a Cyborg movie. So we're getting all these movies that are just going to be fleshing out their origin story after we've already seen a team up.
Yay.
Yeah, it just doesn't work that way.
No. Okay.
It's a bummer.
No spoilers. So I guess we're going to tease people here, but did you see the very, very final after credit scene?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I had to rush off to
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it later. Sorry.
Did they have
Justice
League?
Okay, we won't fight if you're like Justice League is as bad as Batman and Robin. Come on.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay,
that's a low bar.
That's a low bar. As long as you're better than Batman and Robin, you're fine.
Yeah, it's like American politics. The bar is just so low.
The bar is just like right.
If
you can leave that, you just step over it. You just have to step over it. You don't even have to leave. Just
sleep. Just
fall
over.
That's just the mud.
And you're good.
That's just the mud.
If you can step over this, you can be president. You did it. Good job.
You did.
Oddly enough, he didn't do it.
Oddly enough, he tripped over it, and they still. And then he raped the kid. This is a political podcast.
Right.
Oops.
But
very serious.
Yeah, Justice League was like you bite into this nice moist cake, and then you realize that it's been sitting out on the counter for a little bit too long, and the guy didn't use enough sugar in the icing, and you're just like,
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Kind of want to spit it out.
That was beautiful. Just like,
but you eat it anyway because it's cake.
Whereas Batman and Robin, you bite into this delicious moist chocolate cake, and what you realize is that it's actually someone's asshole,
full of maggots.
Why don't we move on from Justice League to Brock? I believe you wanted to talk about something that has a lot to do with the podcast we're doing now.
Sure, it has a whole lot to do with this particular podcast. And just my day-to-day goings-on. Oh, look, Josh has something really similar. So, today, if you're one of the lucky ones who's getting to see us in person, you'll notice something is filming us. It's not just magic, friends. It's my somewhat new 3-month-old OnePlus 5, And already it's being kind of replaced by the OnePlus 5T, which came out, I think, this week. It's like already out. Have you heard anything about it?
Tech guys, can you take a break
No.
from updating stuff?
We need a new one every year.
It's brand new. Hey, I will say I didn't buy this one. I thought about it just to review it on the podcast. But
I could use Word effectively if you'd leave it alone. I'm just saying.
I would give it one, but I might get in a lot of trouble.
That's fair. This guy's about to have a baby.
That is
probably
fair.
doesn't need a new phone.
Should probably
need to save things.
So OnePlus isn't one of our sponsors, but they should be. I don't know if you guys caught that.
You want to message
send us free phones
at nerdcultpodcast@gmail.com and tell us you would like to be our sponsors. We will review anything. If you and we're not above. If you want to send us some money, 5 stars.
I would gladly review, anything from nickels, $100 bills.
That is a huge gap.
Checks?
What's the best
What bigger bills do they make? Checks, right?
Checks.
Top 5 serial numbers on $100 bills.
Just complete tolerance for $100
What's your
bills.
favorite serial number? Well, I do like 7712598, but I also like
Cheerios.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to launch too much into the tech aspects, but basically,
why would you want to interrupt this just ridiculousness that we do?
Why would I want to do that? Chime in at any time if you have your own tech specifications you want to yell out.
China.
Anytime we have our own tech specifications,
OnePlus
we just want to yell
5T.
out.
Yeah, what's your favorite specifications? Tell me now. The main thing I wanted to praise was the camera. So, this is in itself kind of a review of the OnePlus 5's camera because it's got 4K. I'm not filming in 4K. I'm filming in 1080p. Because I don't have room for that on my phone. I've got a zillion photos.
We're not monsters.
Yeah, we're not monsters. You don't need to see any of this in 4K. Maybe some of this, but not everything. Josh is getting out.
Good. Yeah, so
yeah,
also
it looks
for
good. That's an early review from us.
You don't want this in 4K because let's just say this is what we actually look like. Disappointed ladies. I'm so sorry.
And gentlemen.
Yeah, let's not alienate. Yes, disappointed. Anybody that possibly could find us attractive? You bet you are.
Aren't you glad you're seeing us in person? Yeah, this is kind of a special episode now that we're all here.
Anybody who hasn't turned it off yet, thanks for sticking with us.
It's not going to get any better. You don't want to know what's going to come next few minutes.
Somebody's coming.
Plus, good camera.
Yeah, OnePlus, good camera. The 5T, again, which came out this week, has updated the camera because the 5, which has 2 lenses, one for telephoto, which is zooming, one just regular, updated it for the new one basically by adding a portrait mode as the other lens. I think you can still do telephoto from what I understand, but it's just even better if you want to take selfies, if you want to take pictures of Josh. And Josh here has a OnePlus 3. That's what he was showing off.
Just a single camera.
Or a 3T, I think that's what you've got,
yeah,
right?
3T.
Yep. And it's quite an upgrade from the iPhone, because this was my first Android phone, or at least the 3T was.
This was mine too.
And it was quite an upgrade, because I went from, which I loved my iPhone, I'll say that too, but at the same time, I went from half a day battery to because I'm playing on my phone all the time if I get real bored. Which I do. The battery's amazing. The battery's if you're really careful, it could be 2 days. If you barely use your phone, it's going to last forever. But, if you're like me, I barely have to charge it. And charging takes 30 minutes or something?
True.
You've got
from
fast
0
charging too.
To 100.
0 to 1,000.
To 1,000, yeah.
No, I think it's 30 minutes you can charge 60%. Yeah.
1,000%. It actually multiplies and gives you 10 more phones when you fully charge it.
That's the surprising thing.
If you let it set overnight, you wake up and you have 10 more phones.
And you don't want to get it wet. It'll grow into a monster phone.
The ring from Norse culture. Price is what sold me the most.
Yeah. So this is a mid-level, all-around mid-level phone. So, some would say $500 is way too much, but I would say if you're looking at the brand new Samsung or iPhones, you're looking at least $1,000. So to me, $400 or $500 is that's awesome. Sure, because I could afford the new phones, but also the iPhone X is made out of glass. The whole thing's made out of glass.
Yeah.
So you're not just buying the phone; you're buying a case to protect just a glass. which is horrifying to me. And you get a lot of the
Like-
same features, like the 5T has the facial recognition.
Here's a
It's
demonstration
not
of what
as-
happens when you drop glass.
Oh, gosh.
This is my house. He almost dropped my house. People in glass houses
Shouldn't
can
throw
be
stones.
broken by their friends.
Or shower.
Well, I mean, what if
I
Jason?
get
Unless,
what
you,
you're
unless
saying.
you're an exhibitionist.
What if Jason Momoa lives
Oh,
in
I
the
see
glass
what you're
house?
Yeah, I'd watch
He
that.
can shower. It's fine.
What if Blake Sheldon lived in the glass house?
Well, you know
I'd
what?
still watch
I
it.
guess.
Wow.
I guess he can.
Where's our bar?
Right.
You just.
He really is from our hometown. He's from this town that we're in right
This
now.
town.
And
This
like,
Sexy man.
he looks like everybody that lives here.
This is not my hometown.
For like me, yeah, I'm not really.
Not my hometown at all.
None of our
That's-
hometowns,
yeah,
but
this is where
it was for
it's where
4
this
years.
Can we
house
say my
is,
hometown
yeah.
on camera? Wetumpka, Oklahoma. No, you've never heard of it.
I basically decided last second to do this about the Oneplus because I was originally going to talk about this awesome, not new game, but I acquired it, I should say. PS2 game that I've been interested in for like over 10 years called Rule of Rose, which is really rare. It's a survival horror game, but I'm not all the way through playing it yet, so I didn't really want to review it. But yeah, I mean, I figure there's not a ton of reviews on the internet of that game because it's really hard to acquire. I think it was banned at one point. It's real interesting.
That's crazy.
The game itself is like, well, I'll review it later. I won't spoil anything, but
That sounds awesome.
yeah, it'll be cool. I'll probably do that next week. But
That-
we played a game last weekend, didn't we, Josh?
Yeah, we
No,
did.
just go.
So this game that I want to talk about is called Microscope, and it is a tabletop kind of type of game, and it's basically improv, role playing, world building type of a game. So I'll try to explain it as best as I can. Basically, what you're doing is you and 2, 3, 4 other people, hopefully not more than that because it would be impossible to play with.
That'd be
Who has that many? Who has that many?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this
But
is it.
This is it right here.
you and others would play this game. What you do is you create a history, and within that history, you can zoom in, microscope, get it. I didn't get it until I finished reading all about the game.
Like, I don't get it.
It's like, I get it!
Tell me again. Explain it some more.
But you zoom in on certain aspects of the history, and you're just creating everything from... So at the beginning, you say, okay, we're going to bookend our history by saying, okay, this is going to be about the alien invasion of Earth.
That is
That's what we actually did in our first
more on
playthrough.
that in a second.
So it starts with the first alien arriving on Earth, and then it ends with the destruction of Earth and us sending off some savior type of creature like Superman or Goku or something like that. So in the middle, though, you are basically the same thing. Yeah. So in the middle, you are creating what happens in between those bookends. And so the first round, you say, okay, I'm going to make this period of time, and it's going to be when the alien lands and what happens then. And so whenever you can zoom in all the way down to, you have period, events, and then scenes. And in the scenes, you get to do role-playing, so you decide which characters you want to play, and you're trying to answer a question about the history. And it's crazy because, I mean, you're thinking about, it's all off the top of your head, so it's all improv, and basically, it's like this awesome tool to just create worlds out of your own brain. It's like the coolest thing ever.
It's great.
Sounds
for,
amazing. I'm super
Yeah.
jealous that I get to play it.
It's
Yeah.
so good for collaborating.
Yeah.
Like if like you and another person want to make some type of like enormous world or even just a story, this would be like a great place to start.
Yeah,
Or even
I was gonna say, like as a writer, all I can think of is this would be so like helpful but super
Yes.
fun.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. Like, if I wanted to, like, it's perfect for people who are like trying to come up with inspiration for a novel. It's perfect for people who love creating worlds for D&D and stuff like that. Like, that's the main reason I wanted it, was if I could collaborate with other people and get ideas that I didn't expect in my world. And then it goes so quick too. We built, quite a bit of history in just an hour or so of playing it.
sure,
and
but it could have gone on like 5 hours.
And it could go forever.
and like I
'Cause
mean,
it's
we
all of history,
still
yeah.
would have been like, where do we stop? Like,
Yeah.
how do we stop? There was so much that we came up with because it was just the three of us. It was me, Josh, and our friend Aaron. And yeah, I mean, we managed to come up with like all these little tiny stories And like at the beginning of the game, it was like we were all just kind of obsessed with this one little track that we could have kept going on with like forever if we wanted to.
Yeah, just that spot.
And then like we came up with another period in time, and then there were like a couple stories that branched off of that, and they ended up being like my favorite part of the whole thing. I think all of us enjoyed Groupon the Third as a character that Aaron came up with. He was a sneaky ninja that snuck in to I guess just to steal some treasure from these monks.
He wanted to prove himself. He'd been so great for so long, and he wasn't challenged anymore. So
because basically at this point in our history, all the stuff about the aliens, and because we based it off Dragon Ball Z, all of that had been forgotten. And so at this point in history, you had these monks, and some of them, we didn't really get too far into it to find out exactly what happened, but basically I think what we were trying to implicate was like some of the monks had some alien powers that they were finding out about, and Aaron just came up with this random character who was sneaking in at the same time. Maybe had nothing to do with it.
But it ends up triggering the first person who rediscovers these powers, and so just from some random character that somebody created, we got the origin story of this rediscovery of powers, and it's just
I mean,
just so cool.
Even if nothing else, like I feel like we got a couple of great characters out of that. Like I felt like inspired creatively by that little session that we had. It didn't even last that long.
Right.
So it's crazy, and I mean, I think I'll try to include, because I took a few pictures, I'll try to include those in the video, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. It's literally just you writing down on note cards.
Yeah.
And there's a way for you to like, I guess, spread it all out, but you'll see if you're watching the video.
That's a great thing about it too, is that like, you know, D&D, you have to pay for the books and the dice and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of investment, but for this, you buy 50-cent pack of cards and you're ready to go. It's insane what we came up with. And I mean, it'd be great for D&D, for world building and D&D, for someone like you, because you're our dude, you're a world builder. So. I'm a dude.
I was wondering where that was going. Just like you.
I couldn't think of the word. You're my dungeon master.
DM.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it though. I didn't like how it sounded.
I know, dungeon master sounds
You're
awful.
my dungeon master.
You are. But yeah, I love that game, and hopefully I can play it in the future, and hopefully we can play it. Like, because you can do it online. Shoot.
Yeah.
Just do it through
it'd
Skype.
be really easy to do online.
That's it. Yeah, it's like D&D. Like you can do it online.
We could just play this sometime.
Look that up. Microscope. I think it was. I mean, it's like a book.
It's available on Amazon. I couldn't find any 1-star reviews of it, and I'm really sad.
Aww.
Are you ready to do the Birdz?
Thing I said.
I mean, we're making really good time,
Okay,
so we've got a whole hour to
the
talk
Birdz.
about Birdz.
So, what we're talking about is it's Thanksgiving. Or almost Thanksgiving.
I had a Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So Josh has already had Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
1 out of 4.
It's about to be Thanksgiving. Maybe it's Thanksgiving when you listen to this podcast. But what's the main point of Thanksgiving? No, it's not giving thanks. You shut up. That's not what it's about. It's about the bird.
You got your chickens. You got your ducks. You got your turkeys. You got your
Bald eagles.
turduckins.
Shut up.
Turduckins.
So, here at this nerdy podcast known as the Nerd Cult, we decided to do a little ranking with the best birds of the nerd world.
Best nerdy birds.
Best nerdy birds.
Top 10 anime birds of all time. That's what it's called.
Anime birds.
So dumb.
This is the best topic of any podcast.
We've talked about this,
So dumb.
I mean, hours and hours.
We're
Putting
win.
together
Not
files.
joking. Not joking.
Files this high.
We
Files.
But
we have
really-
messages. We have messages of just like
talking about
Talk
the
about
best
the
birds,
birds.
really brainstorming about the best
Oh,
birds.
We're gonna
And,
we're gonna win a Pulitzer
Well,
for this.
wants
as
to
I
start
said,
this dumb thing?
I think pecking order dictates that Josh goes last
Pecking order.
because he's going to go on a wild tangent at the end.
Scratch
I already
that.
know.
Now, see, here's the thing. So they've kind of got their things down. I'm just gonna wing it.
Hey, cacao!
So dumb.
Chicory.
Chicken.
So why don't we get this? Let's get this thing started, Josh.
All right.
All right.
Just tell me what you have, and I'll disagree.
I thought you were going first, winging it.
Hey, I'll go first.
I'll wing it, but I gotta hear some stuff. First.
I'll go
I gotta
first.
I gotta get
All right.
primed. I know who my number one is, but
I'm going to try to do my bird sound.
Okay, it's better than I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to do something stupid. Just like, I thought he was going to get, seriously, I thought he was going to go, here's my bird call.
Birds. Are those
So-
angel's wings or regular wings?
Wow.
Great bird pickup
Whoa.
line. Holy crap.
I gotta try to think of some more bird pickup lines for that one.
He's going to stop mid-explanation of one of his things and be like, I got one.
I'm gonna stop mid-flight. Ha
Oh my
Oh, there you go. Oh, it's,
ha.
oh, it's...
Are you doing top 10?
I'm doing a top 5, Josh.
Top 5.
And if I think of,
monster. Jeez.
I got like 100 over here.
I was
Why
gonna
you're
say,
going last.
this is why he's going last. He really does. I told him, he asked me top 10, and I was like, I was thinking 5, but I think he heard 10, and he was like, oh, 10's not enough.
The top 10? We
Ten's
said
not
5.
enough.
We said 5. He heard 20.
So I'm gonna start with just kind of above all, sort of the best birds, chocobos, Final Fantasy
You start with
series.
number
You
1.
start
I'm
with
starting-
number 1.
Kind of.
Start with number 5.
I'm going from the beginning. It's a frame story. I'm starting from the beginning, and then I'm going back around to my other favorite.
Oh,
But
right.
I'm just saying, chocobos are kind of, and I think some people here are going to agree with me, are the best
Spoiler alert.
birds
I
of all
don't.
time. Well, some people suck, and
What
so
was that?
nothing. So chocobos, right? You gotta love chocobos. They're yellow. They go queer. Sometimes they make other noise. That supposedly they go
Sometimes there are other
queer.
colors.
Sometimes there are other colors. You get to breed them. If you're sick, you get to ride them. If you're sick, you get to pet them. That's normal. Everybody pets a chocobo. Yeah. So I mean, I don't even think I really need to explain chocobos that much. If anybody else wants to go more in depth about chocobos, chocobo eggs. Cute little bastards. We love chocobos. Love chocobos around here. So, all right. So then I'm going to go kind of this isn't even really in any sort of order. So
Except chocobos.
except chocobos, and then when I get wrapped back around to my other number 1. So I'm going to go the Disney classic, and I thought about Disney movies for a long time. I thought about Iago. I thought about...
That's a good one.
Yep.
Zazu.
That's the other one. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, which one's better? But if I'm being really real, I think Disney's Sword in the Stone, Archimedes, Merlin's Pet Owl. I mean,
Ooh.
he's awesome.
Really? Come on. Oh.
Whoa, hey, what? Whoa! Gosh, this guy disagrees. What other...
Humans always learn from their past. He'd be wearing his shoes on his head.
This guy gets it. Yeah. So,
Memorize.
I was gonna say it's been at least 26 years or something since I've watched that.
At least 26 years. He was 4.
I
when he
was
watched it.
1 year old. No, I loved that movie when I was a
But
child.
I
I
don't know
had this.
Clearly, I don't know Brock's age, apparently.
I'm
You
20
just-
28.
No,
Hey.
you were
So,
What
okay,
up?
now
Brock doesn't
I
know
did
his
know
own
Brock's age. Brock didn't
He
know
didn't know his own age.
I've got the memory of a bird.
And it turns back. We've brought it back.
You
Bird's
get that?
a really good
I'm not
bird.
used to being 28. It's only been like 3 months. I should know it by now.
Come on, bird brain.
27 was so solid. Like that's the age that I don't know, all the rock stars killed themselves. Like that was
You missed
That was
your
the age.
You missed your opportunity.
to take a swan dive.
Dreams
Yes.
lost. Dreams that could have been.
Fluttered away. So next on my list, I'm gonna say the giant crow from Dark Souls. He basically just he kind of appears. He's really ominous. At one point, he carries you around. I think at another point, you get to fly around with him somewhere else if you give him like a gift. It's been a little while since I played Dark Souls. He's mostly just a regular bird. He's just kind of big. I don't even think he's like got any super special powers. He's just a cool freaking
bird.
crow. And who doesn't like crows?
Takes you places you gotta go.
It's like the closest thing to just a regular bird. Like he's fictional, but he's
Remember
pretty much a
Drinky
bird.
Crow?
Drinky crow, yeah.
Drinky Crow.
Drinky crow show. Is that one of the birds on
No,
your
that's
list?
not.
Yeah, I
just
thought
wanted
about
to mention him.
Yeah, no,
Honorable mention.
mention.
Honorable
Drinky
mention.
crow, what up? I love the Drinky Crow show. Yeah, he
It was
was.
a really good show.
He was good, and the animation was great too. I
Yeah,
looked
oh
it
my
up
gosh, yeah.
a couple nights ago when we were in the midst of our bird talks, and I mean,
This is a real thing we say to each
Bird
other.
debates.
It's a real thing we say to each other.
I just want to say
In
it was
real
this
life.
guy too. He said, "Hey, what if we did a top birds?"
That was that's my idea.
Yeah, I want this to sink in. Josh
All
said,
from
hey,
his
let's
dirty
do a
mind.
top birds of geek and nerd culture. And Brock and I said, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Okay.
your fault for
And,
agreeing.
and here we are.
this is it. All right, so next favorite is going to be, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Over the Garden Wall, Beatrice the Blue Jay. Yeah, my girl. She's fantastic. She's just a really good character. It's super sweet. I don't want to give too much away about the story of Over the Garden Wall. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's still fall. So, yeah, get real cozy, light some candles, get snuggled up in a little blanket. If you have a bird friend of your own, put him on your shoulder. And yeah, just flip it on. I think I may have pirated it. I don't really know how. Actually, I think it's on. It may be on PlayStation Vue or like Adult Swim or something. I'm not sure.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got it now. I own it legitimately now, but it's worth pirating. You know, it really is like one of my favorite shows. But yeah, she's a great bird friend, bird companion that kind of goes with them on their adventures. So yeah. We're gonna go to number 1.
I thought chocobos were number 1.
No. Chocobos are kind of an overlapping. I think this might be the real number 1.
Chocobos are kind above number 1.
Yeah, chocobos are kind of, they're always gonna be there. It's always gonna be kind of a favorite, but this is kind of the best. Objectively. 8. No, this is objectively the best one.
This is objectively, Josh. This is why you're going last.
Yeah. So this is the number 1 best bird, best anime character of all time. This is Pingu. Pingu the penguin. Little claymation Pingu. That's right. And
I didn't even think about Pingu.
He did it.
Number 1
did it.
And he's even got a final attack. It's the Newt Newt.
I was just saying things.
Newt, he says.
He says.
No matter what. I mean, whether it's snow, whether it's
Newt, Pingu said.
Whether it's any sort of
Like the novel.
ethnic diversity, economic decline. No matter what. I mean, Newt Newt.
You got your Newt Newt.
Pingu.
Pingu Newt Newt.
My boy.
R.I.P.
All right, do your Hulk Hogan impression.
Pingu brother.
Pingu brother.
I'm coming after you, Pingu. I don't care about your Newt Newts or your Snoots or your boots.
He's the final attack.
Bro.
Tyler, you think you'll be able to wing it yet? You got your 5 birds?
I got it.
Okay.
Randy Savage is
So
number
we're gonna
5.
start out.
Randy Savage.
We're gonna start out.
Break your bird bones, boy.
Every episode now. R.I.P. Randy Savage. Papa.
All right, I'm gonna start out my number 5. I'm gonna go anime, and some of you may say, no, he's not a bird, but
He's a plane.
You do remember he's not a plane.
He's a super.
He is Superman. Damn, I walked into that one. Dang it.
Superman's an anime.
Best anime of all time, Superman.
Batman-chan! No! Nani Batman!
Oni-chan Alfred!
I want to see this.
Teach me some.
I want to see this now. Like, don't you?
Can Danny DeVito be there?
Of course he can.
He should.
Why would he's in every movie? Anyways, starting with my number 5, we're gonna go with an old classic anime, one of my personal favorites, Yu Yu Hakusho. Some of you are like, what bird is he talking about? Well, we're talking about Yusuke's spirit beast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
Some of you may be thinking, wait, that's not a bird. He's
That's
just a
outside
cute
the
little.
box.
He's a cute little plushie. No, inside he is a bird, and he transforms later. Saves the day,
Spoiler
saves
alert.
Yusuke. I don't know kids.
It's like a 40-year-old.
It's very old.
Yeah,
Pooh saves the day. All right.
I'm with you. I
Also, who can forget that great quote from Pooh? Pooh.
That is a great.
It meant
Wow,
so much.
memorable.
It
I
meant
don't care
so
about
much.
your poo-poos or your noodles.
It meant so much to me. This is why he makes number 5. Also, you know what? Let's talk about that heartbreaking scene where he's trying to bring water to Yusuke in that cave.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
that's what gets Yusuke
tortured.
to absorb the power and come at it because the rocks are going to fall on poor Pooh.
That's good.
And this is why Pooh makes my number 5.
Yeah,
Pooh,
trying to
number
make us
5.
cry.
Number 5.
All right. Number
I'm going to say number 4. I'm not going to talk about much because it was also going to be... It's also going to be Archimedes.
Hey!
So Brock covered it pretty well. I did
Yeah.
I did a funny quote.
What a funny
So we're gonna move on. We're gonna
Okay.
move on to number 3. Number 3, we got Fox the Phoenix from the Harry Potter series.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Hey,
Because I mean,
yes.
come on,
With a K.
Fox with a K. Come on.
Yes.
Chamber of Secrets. Who saves the day?
Fox.
Fox brings in the hat. Hat got the sword in it. Spoilers. I don't know.
Fox and a
Harry
cat.
Potter. If you haven't watched Harry Potter, why are you listening to this podcast? Also, heels. Got the Phoenix Tears. Heels.
Yeah.
Also, scares the hell out of Harry first time he sees him. I loved that.
Yeah.
Bursts into flames.
Good one. Yeah.
Carries them all up the chute. Just let's MVP of Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
MVP
Good
of
point.
Chamber of Secrets.
Unless you're a Voldemort fan.
Great
He's
movie.
just
Every
really
book.
upset that he ain't
Voldemort's
got no
just-
nose.
Ain't got no nose.
So
Well, he did suck though, in that one.
Move on to number two. Number two, I'm pretty sure Josh is going to say I stole this from his list. It's
he's
Darkwing.
got plenty
It's
more.
Darkwing Duck.
No!
Oh,
Really,
cool.
just because I was going to say the Mighty Ducks, but they're not really birds, they're people. Darkwing Duck is my number two because do I really have to explain why Darkwing Duck is on my list?
No.
I mean,
Let's get dangerous.
Should we sing the song?
I think let's
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck.
I wasn't singing.
He's so good at that.
No, it's Darkwing Duck. I don't know how it goes.
That's
I don't
that's for the next one. So,
That's
but
pretty
anyways,
nice,
now that you've seen that, it's obvious. Darkwing Duck got that awesome costume.
Got the cape.
Got the great
Hat.
cape, the great mask. Got the awesome
The hat.
super wide brim fedora. So like,
That brings it all together.
And he's
brings
not
it
a
all
mammal like
together.
some superheroes.
like some superheroes, all
Or a reptile.
or
Come on.
reptile,
Yeah,
like
good point.
other
Yeah,
superheroes.
other superheroes.
Darkwing Duck, and then my number one, is Chocobos.
Hey, there we go.
Chocobos.
Chocobos.
Come on,
Chocobos.
Chocobos.
Blah, blah.
Come on, that was the funnest part.
Blah, blah. I don't know. why
Funnest
it's
part of
Chocobos.
Final Fantasy VII is getting all the different colored chocobos, getting all the cool materia and stuff that you couldn't get with the other ones, crossing the mountain, going over the ocean, getting the Knights of the Round materia with the gold one,
Heck yeah.
and then everything Brock says, like, well, they're awesome, you get to pet them,
Get to pet them.
cute when they
Get to
hatch.
pet them. They got little eggs.
So yeah, chocobos are number one. So I can't even fathom how, surely there's no one so arrogant to think that something deserves to be in the place of Chocobo's highest honor of best nerd.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just
Nerd
it's
birds.
you
just
would
a
be
given.
wrong.
And it's
So-
won by a democracy as well.
So let's
One could
move.
say.
Let's move to Josh. So Josh, who is in front of Chocobos, who are obviously
Chocobos
your number one?
Are my number 8.
You get okay. So just go.
They're on the list.
No. There's the door. I
So
know
the
it's
ones that
Brock's
are
house.
worse than Chocobos, but still great. You got the Ducks and the Duck Hunt.
Ducks in the duck hunt.
Ducks and the Duck Hunt.
But
Duck
don't we
hunt.
shoot them?
Yes, that's why they're so
That's
great.
why they're so great. They let us kill them.
Yeah,
Okay.
for entertainment.
This says a lot about Josh. I feel like.
You got Gunther from
Oh yeah, from
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought about it. I thought about mentioning Gunther.
He's a cute little baby boy,
Gunther, come here.
and he keeps
Okay.
the Ice King, sane.
Help
And
me find a princess, Gunther.
all right, number 7, my Empoleon with the ground hidden ability from Pokemon X.
Oh, okay. I knew somebody was going to mention a Pokemon.
I like that yours, not
My
the actual
specific
Pokemon, but
one.
yours.
My specific Empoleon, because it had ground hidden ability, and I
Which
got
is
it.
Cheating.
Is so good. It's so
cheating.
good. Friggin' water and steel. Oh, I love that bird.
When I played Pokemon, we shouldn't get into this.
Did you call it Pokemon when you played it?
I used one Pokemon to kill all the other Pokemon that I got at the beginning of the game. I loved it.
You
It was
played
a lot
with
of fun.
one Pokemon.
Yeah.
Was
I
it
didn't-
Pokemon Yellow?
Didn't catch any.
all of them. Until
All
like
of
the
them. You
DS.
just get one.
Yeah,
and
just get one, and
Was it a
it's
Pikachu?
usually Charizard. No,
Or is it Charizard?
no, I killed Pikachu too. Well, no,
Just
I mean
a
if you gave me
Charmander.
Pikachu, I might keep him. But
Just one Charmander at the
Yeah.
beginning, and that's
I
it.
just overpower, and like there's a couple times you have to learn some other stuff. So I get
frustrates
them.
me
when
because
I
it's
throw
just
'em
not
out.
how you're supposed to play it.
The
You gotta
Pokemon,
catch 'em
the
all.
Pokemon were the threat. Until I was like 14, 15, I just thought that's how you played. Like
Boy, you got egg on your
people
face.
ask me like, how'd you beat egg? Egg like birds.
Thank you
You
for
get it?
explaining it.
You get it?
You get it? Birds.
We're gonna
This
stop
is a
it.
podcast about birds. Who'd have thought it turned into
Watch
this?
you egg. That's a line from Macbeth. For those literature nerds.
Ooh,
Nice.
I do remember
There
that.
are some.
It's a great insult.
I was just thinking
You
about
egg.
what you egg yesterday.
Really?
I saw it out of context and I was like, what was that from?
It was Macbeth.
It was
From
Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Wow.
Whenever
I
he
should have asked you.
stabs a little boy. Right.
Good scene.
Right
I
when he
love
just-
Macbeth.
Because Macbeth's a family-friendly play from Shakespeare.
Mother, I've been killed. That was the next line.
Oh goodness.
That's the best line in Shakespeare. Mother, I've been killed.
All right, so number 6, King DDD. So, Kirby 64, man.
Okay.
So he's a bad guy the whole time. Well, not the whole time.
I'm behind this.
In the series up to that. And then he gets to help you out, man. It was so good.
That's awesome.
When the world's on the line, King DDD.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's out of the box.
Were you one of those terrible people that used DD in Super Smash Bros. And just would level people with that hammer?
I suck so bad at Smash
Yeah, me
Bros.
too. I'm real bad.
But yeah,
at Smash
he's-
Bros.
Okay, I like Smash Bros.
Okay, no, I would like it. Everybody's
He's
so
a
good.
little OP.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a beautiful bird.
That doesn't stop me from playing every other game.
Sure.
So that gives my list 2 penguins, by the way.
Yeah, 2 penguins.
The next one,
Does it mean-
Boobo.
Does it mean you're winning?
Number 5, Boobo, the owl from the Clash of the Titans.
The original Clash of the Titans. The
I
original
have to
Clash.
say anything
The original
else?
Clash of the
Yeah.
Titans,
Yeah.
or the.
I don't have to say anything else.
There's not another one.
Yeah, that's right. The Clash of
Yeah.
The original is the only one with Boobo, I
the.
think.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he
that's
makes a little cameo in the remake where they like show it and then they like throw it away.
Ah, that's lame.
Mm-hmm.
Boobo kills it.
Yep. You
Every
have
scene
to.
he's in.
You just had to mention his name and it was like, yep, okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Number 4, I can't believe you guys didn't mention this one. Falco Lombardi from Star Fox.
Yeah, I thought about it.
I thought about it and then I decided not to.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, yeah.
What's some Falco lines?
Yeah.
Thanks, Fox. I thought they had me. Wait, no, that's Slippy.
Anything.
Oh, he says, follow me. And then you get to go into the secret area
Mhm.
in the first level, 64. All right.
Good one.
Number 3 was Darkwing Duck. What else needs to be said?
Forget about it.
Number 2, Larry Bird.
Larry
Bird.
Son of
did
a
it.
bitch!
I did it. Literally breaks.
Just.
But listen. There was a game in. There was a game in 1990, Larry Bird versus Michael Jordan on the Sega Genesis. Legit. He fits! And just look at him, he's a nerd. The mustache, I mean, growing up in Indiana, the high shorts, I mean...
Brock wouldn't let me leave.
But, alright, you gotta come back for number 1.
What could possibly beat Larry Bird?
Psyduck, number 1.
Oh,
By
that's just
far.
that's just a good one, but
Wait,
number one?
number 1?
Above Darkwing Duck?
Psyduck, I get
You better
every
have-
sinue Pokemon game.
You better have a good
I
explanation.
never turn him into Gold Duck.
I'll say this. I'll just use him to kill all the other Pokemon.
Do it, yes. That's your
In
one
honor of
Pokemon.
Josh.
In
In
honor
honor
of
of Josh and his shitty number 1 pick.
Psyduck is not a number 1 pick.
No,
it's the
I don't
greatest
think
pick.
he's a shitty Pokemon, but he's your number 1.
Yes,
He's the number
by
1?
far, of all the birds.
Why?
I
in
feel
the
like
world.
we're gonna get so many
He's-
hate messages.
Hate. This is where the hate messages start.
Death threats.
Death threats.
Psyduck is the best character in the anime. He's-
Nope, this one works.
This one actually
He's in
makes
every
sense.
Pokemon game. He's always there for you. He understands me.
Is that one of the perks?
He's my best friend. Number 5 reasons.
We deserve to die.
I just want you to stop.
I just want to say, my honorary pick that I really wanted to include, but I couldn't, and I thought, oh, Josh will have it as his number 1. Birdo. We didn't talk about Birdo.
Well, yeah, he's a Birdo at heart. But
He's
not
the
a
only
Birdo.
trans character we mentioned at all tonight.
Yeah,
Josh.
what is that?
We're so inclusive.
We're
Because
trans.
Psyducks are trans sometimes.
So is Pingu.
You're making this. You're just making shit up now.
Sigh, duck. How do you guys feel about our birds? Please leave some messages
Oh, please do.
about our
Send
birds.
hate mail to
Send
900.
And if you have your own list of favorite birds, please send it to us.
Please
I
send it.
really want to know what we forgot. If you think we forgot something, tell us. Keep winking at the camera. It's really hard not to wink at the camera.
Because we forgot so many. I know we did.
There's a bunch
an
I want to
exhaustive list.
just start yelling.
Well,
Oh god, no.
Should we go into viewer questions,
I
guys?
think we should.
Listener questions?
Uh,
Viewer questions
viewer
this
and
time.
listener.
Hey, wow.
Let's read some of these. At Levi Newell from Twitter.
And he asks, do you guys know what happened to Dustin's turtle?
No. So,
That's
at Levi Newell on Twitter.
Sure.
So, we team Steve or team Jonathan? I, for one, I'm very supportive of single mothers, so I'm team Steve.
Sure. Well, wow. I mean, I don't know if I love Steve in season 2 especially.
Yes.
Because, I don't know. I like Steve. He's a good guy. He's a good kid.
yeah,
But-
like Jonathan.
I like Jonathan.
He's a great brother. We gotta mention that. Great
Yeah,
son.
sure.
But man, he was creepy that first season.
Well, but if we're going to talk about creepy, I mean, Steve let his friends write, like, Nancy's a slut on the movie theater.
That's not creepy, that's an ass.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, it's just like,
so
if
you
it,
got creep.
I'm just saying, if it
I'm
happened
going
in
on-
real life, I'd be like, I can never ever even talk to this guy
I'm
again.
going off season 2
But-
where I
Yeah,
feel like they
sure.
both fully redeemed themselves from everything.
I'm with you. Yeah,
True.
I'm with you there.
So I gotta call it. I'm team Steve.
Steve is kind of. I mean, I guess we all do stupid, mean things.
Aren't
as
we all?
teenagers.
I can get on board with Team Steve Hair.
Aren't we all?
Steve Hair, man.
Steve Hair. Jonathan with Steve Hair.
Ooh.
Think
that's
about
an
it.
unbeatable
Think about
team.
it.
I need a minute. Ooh.
Unbeatable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jonathan just because of that whole interaction in season 2 between him and his brother,
That was pretty good. Yes.
talking
That was
about movies
really
and
good.
stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this the last one?
This is the last of the Stranger Things questions.
Last of the Stranger Things one. This one is from at Silky Soul. So this is a pretty good question. How can creatures from the Upside Down thrive in our world, but their world is toxic to humans? Well, I just want to point
I
out.
thought about that at all.
I just want to point out, they didn't survive in our world. We killed them. So, seems
That's
like
a good
seems
point.
like humans are a little toxic to the upside down creatures.
And
Well, I think it's just like bats with nails in them and guns and stuff. They might be toxic.
Hey,
that might be toxic.
What? Those are
too.
part of the those are part of the environment. Have you ever found yourself walking in the park? You find those bats with nails.
I'm
and
pretty.
the guns.
I'm pretty allergic to those too.
To be fair, the people that got sick in the Upside Down, they were filled with like parasites and stuff. Like it's kind of the same concept. They didn't have bats with nails, but they were like, oh yeah, let's go inside this dude,
I also feel like a good theory,
turn into worms.
and I feel like this pans out is probably the creatures from the upside down are made of some hardier stuff than humans. I would think.
Yeah.
So-
Good point.
And there's no proof that they could survive for a long
long
time.
Long term, sure.
And that's from one of our most loyal viewers, Adam Choate.
Yep.
He asks, "What are your thoughts on Justice League only making $94 million opening weekend?" My thoughts are, I mean, I'm not surprised after what DC's cinematic universe has given us. Fans aren't as fans aren't as excited to go see it. They're more worried. So I'm not surprised that it hasn't quite made bank.
Well, the original what was the budget for Justice League? I'm gonna look that up. I think it was like 300 million.
Counting reshoots and everything, the budget topped out at I think 300.
Yeah, 300 million. So 300 million, you earn 93 your weekend. That's rough.
Definitely, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So the Avengers, for reference, $222 million budgets ended up earning 1.5 billion. There's no way.
And it put it,
Justice League's gonna-
and I believe the Avengers is ranked in like the at least top 20 of highest grossing films of all time. I think.
Yeah, it's up there. I think what was it? Something recently beat it, but yeah. So I think it has. I mean, it just had a lot of bad press, and it's not looking good.
Well, in the reshoots, when that was announced, that got everybody worried, and as it should. Like extensive reshoots on anything are it's not the best bet. Probably really quick get distracted. Why are you distracting me with what you're pulling up on the computer?
Birdz.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think it deserves to really earn that much more than its budget because of the crap that they put us through.
Yeah.
Giving us a stale piece of cake.
And I feel bad saying that because obviously the actors did well, the directors did what they could. It's the producers, it's WB Studios.
Friggin'
Like
Warner Brothers.
you gotta
Stop
have
sucking.
faith. Have some faith in your stuff.
Yeah.
Be like Disney, who's
Be
just
like
like Marvel. We're not gonna touch it. We're gonna give you
It should
some
be
money.
in every production studio's offices. Be like Disney.
Be like Disney. Be really anti-Semitic. And
It works for you.
if it works,
Even though half of Hollywood is...
we do not
Wow.
support that. But
No,
Yeah.
I love Jesus.
be like Disney. How they handle Marvel. This is on Twitter. It's from @TestKitchen21. I love that name.
Good one.
How did you come up with the Logan/Wolverine? How did you come up, or how did they come up?
How did they, I think...
I'm going to say Brock typed that wrong, and say how did they come up with Logan Wolverine, and what's the bizarre minutia that casual fans don't know about him? God, I don't know at this point what you wouldn't know about him. They've covered most of it in all the movies, I feel like.
Sure.
Like even his origin and stuff.
The origin
I haven't seen Logan,
hated,
by
man.
the way.
Do
You
I?
haven't-
Haven't seen Logan, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
What? How can we? Boy.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh my
Too
god.
bad.
It's one of the best.
I've
superhero
heard.
films.
Yeah.
No,
it's,
yeah,
It's like on my computer, ready to go. I just haven't.
Let's watch it right now.
Yeah, right now.
Remember
12
Origin though? It sucked. Like
It did suck, but it still got a lot right with the origin. It still sucked. They didn't present it well, but they.
because freaking Sabretooth was like his buddy. Like what?
His first. I'm not sure who came up with the concept for Logan Wolverine. I feel like a bad comic book person. I know some minutia. His first mission in comics was to go after the Incredible Hulk. That's what Weapon X sent him on. Close after that, he went after the Wendigo, which was a
That's awesome.
creature in there. He's Canadian. Everybody knows that.
Wendigo.
Creature.
Northeastern Native American creature that shapeshifts. That's Wendigo.
Skinwalker.
Either shapeshift. The big
Sometimes
one
the same
is
thing.
you'll turn into a Wendigo if you're in that area and you cannibalize.
Eat humans,
You
yeah.
cannibalize,
Yeah.
you'll turn into a Wendigo.
Yeah.
They
Really cool.
they wake up periodically, like every several years.
Much like
Yeah.
the Jeepers Creepers monster.
Much like the Jeepers Creepers monster,
Except not created by the pedophile.
except not. Oh yeah. Why does everyone in Hollywood sucks now? Just
Yeah,
so
I know.
bad.
I wish they went back to dying.
I'm glad Randy Savage died before we found out that
Took a
he
dark-
was.
took a dark turn with Brock. I wish they just go back to dying. I guess to be fair, would you rather they die or you find out that one of your heroes
strikes again.
is?
I know the last death was just respecting Hollywood of 2016.
God.
Another-
you love.
At Test Kitchen 21 again.
And this one is. We're gonna try and keep this short, but there's no way it's gonna happen.
Fun.
This
times.
loaded question: who is the real hero of the Star Wars saga?
Do you want me to give me mine?
Gotta make sure we get enough film for this.
Yeah, because it's
Who do you think is the real hero? Okay, so I think it's the Star Wars saga. So we're just talking about the films thus far, right? We're not talking about like the TV shows.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just stick to the.
Well, who's the? I don't feel like
The
they're,
little
especially
kid from
since
the
they
Ewok
started a
adventure.
new.
What was his
Since
name?
they started a new trilogy, I don't feel like there is a singular hero of the whole saga now.
No, there is, and it's R2D2.
You know what?
Think about
Oh,
it.
you know what?
That's a good
yeah,
answer.
you know what?
That's a good answer.
That's it.
Yeah, we answered
We don't
it.
even-
we didn't
we
even
don't-
need to discuss
We don't
it.
have to talk about it.
That's
It's
why I
done.
saved it.
It's done.
Yeah, R2D2, and he can fly.
And some
He's
people will
basically
say,
a bird, an honorary
He's
space
a
bird.
bird.
some people who will say he did not save the day in episode 7.
No,
No, BB-8 was a big contender, but who had the map in the end?
exactly.
Who had the map in the end? R2D2
Hero.
It
woke
wasn't
up.
for him.
R2D2
Hero
woke
of
up
the
at the
franchise.
end and was like, guys, you've been
Yep.
struggling without me. I got this. What?
Good answer,
Oh,
Josh.
God.
Wow.
Josh, MVP of this podcast right here.
MVP.
MVP. You
Wow.
redeemed yourself from your shitty...
He really crawled out of the
Redeemed
mud
himself.
where the
bar.
the bar was
You
set.
crawled over that bar.
The
Yeah.
bar's been raised
Yeah.
bar 2 inches.
To like right
2
here.
inches.
It's like right there. Now you gotta you gotta hop over a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta do a little hop.
Alright, maybe you could be president.
Ah,
By what you want to.
I can't.
Oh,
I
he just
can't
went
hop.
with that and he flew with it, man.
Well, guys, I think that is all we have for this incredibly exciting episode that you've been a part of. I am so sorry. Good job, Josh.
If you're still with us,
If you're
it
still
hurts,
with us,
doesn't it?
well, if you're still with us, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. As you know, this is the Nerd Cult. We have our website, the Nerd Cult, at libsyn.com. Go there, give us a listen. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, which is where you hopefully are already there watching this video.
Exactly.
Again-
the Nerd Cult podcast.
Again,
on
if you
YouTube.
if you just prefer the audio, we're on our regular website. We're also on Facebook and Tumblr. You can find us at the Nerd Cult. We're on Twitter at Nerd Cult Podcast. And you can message us. Message us your questions. Message us stuff you'd like us to talk about, and maybe we can get to it.
Stuff
Message us-
you'd like to see Josh doing.
Yes. Message us anything, and
Dares.
we'll see if we can talk about it. And that's at nerdcultpodcast@gmail.com.
Our project, 50 Sonnets, 50 Weeks, I'm sucking at.
I was going to
But,
mention that before we got here.
Yeah.
About where's Sonnet number
But it's
3.
coming. And it will, it might not be every single week that a sonnet comes out, but it will be done in 50 weeks. I will have 50 in 50 weeks. So it doesn't come out.
Procrastinators. But
Yeah, I have, a son being born, so.
that's kind of a big thing.
It's kind of a big thing.
Hope Lacey
I
watches
guess.
So too. Hope your
So-
son watches it. It's something.
So your project's taking a little bit to get off the ground a little bit.
Sure.
Yep.
It's coming.
But it will happen.
My continual project of trying to sell my book. It's an unlikely company. You can find that on Amazon. It's an unlikely company. Book 1 of the Nethergate trilogy. My ongoing project is just keep selling it. So go buy it. If you like fantasy, swords and sorcery, fantasy and action adventure, that's what that is.
Rate us on iTunes. Rate us anywhere.
5.
Give us good ratings.
5.
Check out our YouTube videos just to get views.
Yep.
And click
And we're also on Stitcher now, which is a big
that's a
podcast
new
network. Rate us on that one. That'll help us out. Rate us on iTunes. We appreciate everybody that's already rated us. It's helping out. If you want to continue to help, rate us on iTunes. Also, give us a share on Facebook. Give us a share on Twitter. Get us help us get out there to other people.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell your parents. Tell your dad.
Tell
Email
your
your dad about it.
dogs. Tell your dogs.
Tell your dogs and tell your dogs to tell other dogs.
Email your kids.
Tell your cats.
Tell your cats.
Basically, tell everybody about us if you
Tell
can
your
do
birds.
Tell your birds. Ooh, pigeon messages. That's how we need
Use.
to
Yeah,
We
that's
just
how we
need to
should be
attach
advertising.
all of our links to
Pigeon.
pigeons.
The birds.
We'll be sending them
that.
out
Bird
there.
references. We're just
Old
gonna
school.
keep going until we
Till we
click
die.
Till we click that button.
Till we die.
Till we click that button.
Smash
turn it
that
off.
button.
If you don't smash the like button, we're going to keep talking about birds.
That's right.
Next week, part 2.
Part 2.
Birds. Well, until then, I am Tyler Lee. You can find me at _Tyler Lee or Tyler R. Lee _ at Twitter.
Give him a
At
kiss.
Brocculonatron on Twitter as well.
At Josh D. Forrester with 2 R's.
Ta-da!
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on our first video adventure.